The Amazing Spider-Man movies were absolutely awful. Complete embarrassment after Sam Raimi's 3.
They ruined everything I loved about Spider-Man. His entire character was just demolished. His love interest, sure, was better, but she was ruined in that second movie by being stalked by creepy Parker.
The thing about Gwen Stacy is everyone says, oh, they had such great chemistry, but here's the thing, I fucking hated her by the end of Spider-Man 2. And when that happens, when she dies, it meant nothing to me. I checked out. The whole stupid plot, the villains, I'm the Rhino! It all was awful.
And what the hell was with her death scene? The fucking nosebleed? Your head just hit the goddamn floor. Sure, you're a PG-13 movie. Use all your blood for that. And you have liberties.
And what are you gonna do if your loved one dies? Are you just gonna say, Gwen? No! You're gonna get the fuck up and you're gonna beat the shit out of Green Goblin.
That's what a man would do. That's what a man would do. That's what matters.
That's what a Spider-Man would do, not the Amazing Spider-Man.
You can mope. That's okay. Batman moped for Rachel. Yes, but he got over it. He fought the Joker. He took him down like a boss.
Threw him off a fucking building and then brought him back up.
By breaking his leg, no less.
Fucking grappled hook his leg. That's not something most people think about it. But we're not talking about how great The Dark Knight is. We're talking about how horrible and awful the Amazing Spider-Man movies are. Which, let's start with the beginning. When they take one of the greatest quotes of all time, with great power comes great responsibility, and completely fucking butcher it. With a good actor like Martin Sheen, that should have been great. You could have actually written something original and was not ripping off the old one, and it could have been good. But no, you have to take what was good and make it bad.
I don't know what Mark Webb could have been thinking when writing that. It makes no sense. He goes all over the place. I'm sure Sony fucking hired him for his name. Mark Webb. It could not be a coincidence.
It is just, it was a publicity stunt. That's all there is to it. Because think of the plot of those movies. His parents leave him because they're in a plane and it crashes. It doesn't even belong in a movie. It doesn't even feel like a Spider-Man movie. It looks like a deleted scene from Jason Bourne.
And if you were willing to break into his house to take his shit, why not just kidnap the guy? You're already breaking the law. You have all the money in the world, Osborn. What the fuck?
And let's go down the villains. We have Lizard, who is absolutely boring. It's like a complete mess of a villain, who is the most cliched thing I've seen ever in these comic book movies. Just, a science experiment goes wrong again. And especially in Spider-Man, that's all we've seen from their villains.
But the Lizard, he was so ruined. For those of us that have read some of his comics, he's a monster, and it's amazing. He conflicts with his own emotions, and he fights himself for control. And yet, the Lizard in this movie had no motivation. He made no sense. Everything he does is just so spontaneous, it's retarded.
Now, if you think that's the worst these movies could get, think of Green Goblin. One, they couldn't even do Norman Osborn, which is just the fucking greatest Spider-Man villain. No, they had to go with his whiny bitch son, Harry. And here's the thing, he gives himself goblin herpes and then crawls magically to a suit that fits him and he knows how to operate, even though he's just a spoiled brat.
He could have been the Vulture for all we know. He crawled to just anything. How the fuck did he know that suit specifically would heal him? He had no way of knowing that. He's just a spoiled little rich kid who had no reason to be pissed. Look, the disease that he got from his dad killed his dad at like age 60. Why the fuck are you crying about something you have 50 years to live through?
And we still have Electro. After Django, we expected so much from Jamie Foxx, but all we got is a knockoff of Dr. Manhattan who had this weird lisp, and all it was just a rehash of Jim Carrey from Batman Forever.
It pissed me off so much. Half the time I thought he was gonna go jerk off while thinking of Spider-Man. He was a creepy motherfucker.
And he's just like, oh, I'm sorry, Spider-Man. I'm his friend. Oh, no, bake him a cake. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, do you like that, Spidey? I like it a lot, Max. What the fuck is this writing? And when he gets locked up in that asylum, oh my god, the scientist that experiments on him, it pisses me off.
Dr. Kafka, I mean, what was that? Electro. You take a stereotype and you just turn it up to 20. It was not funny, it was just annoying and mind-numbing. also mind-numbing was the subplot for Aunt May. Look, we're talking about a character who should only have just a few lines that give some interesting stuff to Peter about being responsible and powers and shit. But no, what they give her is a whole plot line to be at a hospital as an employee, as some sort of nurse, when they should be focusing on developing Peter, who in those movies is just, oh, he is just the worst person. Played by Andrew Garfield, his voice is so annoying. I'm Spider-Man. No one can like that, and you're supposed to like Spider-Man. You can't like that voice.
It would make sense if as Peter Parker you didn't like his voice. That's fine. He can sound terrible as Peter Parker. You're not supposed to want to be Peter Parker. But if he sounds annoying as Spider-Man, that's when it's ruined. You should want to be Spider-Man. Spider-Man's cool. He's like a hero. He saves people. He does things that you would want to do yourself.
Let me stop you right there, because this Spider-Man doesn't save people. He sits on top of a car and makes bad jokes while the Rhino just kills 20 people in fucking taxi cabs.
This is true. That was a terrible representation of what Spider-Man should have been. It's awful what they do in these movies.
Spider-Man makes jokes because he's trying to make sure the villains don't see that he's afraid. It's a mask. It's not an excuse to him be, oh, no, joke around while people are dying. No. It is a tactic. It is a strategy to use against the villains, not citizens.
One of the most overused tropes in all of comic books is the child motivating the hero. Yes, that little kid running in front of the Rhino and then him just standing there trying to be cool, and then Spider-Man jumps in. Oh my god.
When we're talking about going into fight scenes, one of the worst things that these movies did was having the crowds go around these terrorist attacks and cheer on Spider-Man. It doesn't make sense. The way that the police cornered him off. Like, oh, you can stand here and cheer for your hero while shit goes down, when you should be running in fear. And when you're a mother of a small child, you're not going to take him to this fucking transformer that's shooting cops. No. And above all that, if a kid did run out in the middle of a thing, the kid's fucking shot because, one, the police and the bad guy are not going to stop shooting. Let's be realistic.
Something that neither of the movies have done well, and that is Captain Stacy. Sure, Spider-Man 3 had him. He was very shoehorned, didn't make a whole lot of sense, completely pointless. Like one joke, which wasn't even funny with Eddie. But at least he wasn't motherfucking Ghost Dad and getting his bullshit, don't date my daughter, and then getting fucked over at the end of the beginning of the next one. Even though, in the end, that movie makes no sense. It tries to have its Spider-Man 1 level ending with Peter walking into the camera, and it's beautiful. That is perfect. This did not. It tried. It tried so hard with its moody rain falling. Do you get it? It's sad. It's symbolism. When she has the black umbrella, it's symbolism, guys. Do you get it? Fuck.
The worst part about fucking up Captain Stacy is we're talking about a character that should be one of the most important parts of these movies. I mean, he's literally the Commissioner Gordon of the Spider-Man comics. This character should not have been fucked up. And he should not have made Peter promise him something that Peter could not fulfill. And Peter, as a character, should not have gone back on his promise and dated his daughter as soon as he died.
Look, when I saw the ending of this movie, I thought, wow, this was very poorly done. But at least they're trying. And then he says the worst line in the entire movie about promises. The ones you can't keep are the best kind. You just watched a man die saving your life, and you're gonna fuck his daughter anyway? I like how I censor myself on the one thing. That I don't know. Anyway.
It is mind-boggling wrong. And just an absolute slight against the character Spider-Man. And that is why I ask you to take what we have said, our empirical views, as empirical truth, and go forth and spread the word.